Hey everyone, it's Callum from Cagefront here. Welcome back to the channel. And if you are new here, welcome to the channel. We're going to be recapping UFC Fight Night, Israel Adesanya versus Nassourdine Imavov. So recapping all the fight card awards. We're going to be looking at the main event and the co-main event, obviously, but we're going to be looking at the finish of the night, the performance of the night / upset of the night as well there. We're going to be looking at the fight of the night and the fighter to watch, the fighter to look out for. And ultimately, you're probably wondering why I'm looking like arse at the moment, and that's for a couple of reasons. Now, one is because I live in Australia. The event was in the Middle East, so it started at like 12 a.m, finished at 6 a.m. I had a big night the night before because it's my birthday leading into today, so I am knackered. And also, to top it off, going through the whole entire card, watching the whole thing, and then seeing arguably my favorite fighter get chinned. And trust me, if you'd seen my predictions, did not think that that would happen, and that's Israel Adesanya, of course. So let's start off with the main event. It's tough. I mean, obviously, I did not think he would lose, and he is, honestly, he is the better fighter, but it is just the generational thing. And Israel Adesanya, he is the guy that stylistically, he is fast. You know, he relies on that speed. He relies on that counter striking, the timing on his shots. But with age, the guy's 35 now. I mean, age kills a style like Izzy's. And Nassourdine Imavov, I mean, he came through and did exactly what he needed to do. And he got the finish of the night, in my opinion. I mean, taking out a guy like Israel Adesanya like that, we have never seen that before. Not that quick as well. Now, looking into the fight, I mean, Izzy was starting off pretty strong. He was probably like the most active I've seen in a first round. He was very, very active in that first round. He was doing a very good job of chopping the legs, chopping the body, and he stuffed the takedown very well of Imavov in that first round, and then got his own body lock takedown as well, which was very impressive. But leading into the second round, I mean, I'd give Izzy the first, but I'd say the best shot was landed by Imavov. That uppercut that he landed in round one was very clean, but man, in that second round, I mean, Imavov did get an eye poke, but I just could not see that as a reasonable excuse there at all. I mean, there was enough time between the eye poke and Izzy saying that it was fine, and then the finishing sequence happening. Like, I just don't see that being an issue. And the beautiful overhand. I mean, Izzy was trying to like frame with his hands, and usually with that reach that he does have, 80 inches of reach, he is able to frame off and then swing like a hook or something and it miss him. That's usually what's happened, especially in his title reign. But Imavov was so good at, he was just able to push through the frame, and he was able to flick that overhand so well, catch him straight on the chin. But more impressively, when he dropped him, just a laser uppercut. That uppercut landed so flush with Izzy's head literally having nowhere to go, just like crunched up against the cage, similar to like Joaquin Buckley versus Wonderboy Thompson. I mean, what Buckley did to Wonderboy is very similar in that sense, where the head's just got nowhere to go. So it's taken that full brunt of that power. And yeah, I mean, Izzy got dropped, and then Nassourdine got full control of his back, was fully mounted on his back. I mean, people were saying, you know, early stoppage from Mark Goddard. Izzy's my favorite damn fighter. That was not an early stoppage. Like, if that kept going, I mean, yeah, Izzy would have been split from consciousness for sure. So yeah, it definitely was not an early stoppage. Now, when we're looking at what is next, Imavov, for me, I believe that he's next for him is going to be Strickland. I think Strickland is next. I think we've got that storyline there. Strickland has beaten Imavov before, but I think that Strickland will lose to Dricus du Plessis, and that either leaves Strickland with, realistically, he's got three options. He's got Imavov, he's got KO Baralho, and he's got Robert Whittaker. Whittaker's coming off a loss. KO Baralho, he's been a bit injured and is just a bit inconsistent in that sense. And Imavov has literally just taken out Israel Adesanya. I mean, a guy that Strickland could not finish. So yeah, I think Imavov has those bragging rights there. I mean, people have been arguing that he should be ahead of Hamzat to get the title shot, which I mean, great performance, but yeah, Hamza, we just need a title shot for him. Like, I think people are just more keen to see it. Ultimately, nothing against Imavov, but yeah, Imavov after Hamza is 100% next. Now, Izzy, where does he go? I honestly, guys, I'm clueless. I seriously just don't know. I don't know what Israel Adesanya can do next. He has had an absolutely fantastic career, honestly, and he is such a sick fighter, but I just don't know what he can do. I mean, I don't know if he has the drive anymore, and as I said before, stylistically, the strike speed, the counter striking, I mean, his agility, that is his game. I mean, that's why he was so dominant for half a decade. But him aging, I mean, age is such a detriment for his style. Like, it's just, you could see he is slowing down. Main time I could see that was against Dricus du Plessis. I felt like they were kind of fighting in slow motion. Maybe I was just that nervous, but I just honestly, yeah, it's hard to see Izzy obviously lose at this point, because this was really set in stone to be a rebound for him. Now, what happens now with him losing to a contender? This is the first time he's ever lost outside of a title-based fight. So this is a whole new thing for him to digest. He looked absolutely perplexed when this happened, and rightfully so. I mean, I was absolutely shocked, but I mean, I think a lot of people are at the same time. I mean, to have a look at GSP's reaction, you know, like a guy that is honestly arguably the middleweight GOAT getting taken out like this. Full credit to Imavov, but yeah, Izzy, I'm not sure, honestly, what is next for him. It has to be some form of contender, but if it is a contender, does he have the drive for it? That's going to be the big issue here. Now, looking at the co-main event, which MVP is taking the performance of the night and the upset of the night, because great value on MVP. He was like a 3-1 underdog on this. This, realistically, I did have Shara bullet by a decision, which I'm not mad at losing it, because this stylistically, I mean, you do not touch this with a 10-foot pole when it comes to betting, because it could have gone absolutely any way. Now, it was definitely an interesting first round. They were collecting their reads, as I would have thought, but that bladed stance and that 1-2 that MVP lands is just ridiculous. And the thing that he did, the small thing that he adjusted when he was timing those shots, is he would stop the jab. He stopped the jab and he would lunge in just with the 2, so it completely put him off beat, because he would be in just a longer sequence going through that, which Shara was trying to counter with that check hook when he was doing the 1-2, but then he dropped the 1 and then Shara had no time to counter just a straight 2, especially with MVP being so quick in that linear fashion. I mean, MVP looked fantastic at middleweight. Granted, he was slowing down in the third round, but he had the fight already. 30-27. He had a 30-27, and credit to bloody Shara bullet and that chin. He got hit with some nice shots, similar to the way Ian Gary got hit, but even on the end of the first round, a spinning heel kick straight to that chin. I mean, that bloody ginger beard came in clutch, because I thought he was going to get absolutely dropped like a sack of bloody potatoes. But yeah, he still went through. But Shara, you got to kind of remember at the same time, which Dana White did say, Shara is a great fighter. I mean, not super experienced overall, but he had never tasted defeat, and he's going against a guy that he has never faced in terms of the quality of striking as well. And also, he's got one eye. So fighting a guy that is that fast and that unorthodox with one eye, honestly, not getting chinned is just credit in itself. Like, it's easy to skip over that Shara can literally only see 50%, and he's been undefeated to this point. So it is absolutely incredible. I mean, 99% of people could not do what he does. So yeah, I mean, ultimately MVP, I'm super happy that he didn't get chinned. I mean, that's one of the things I was worried about, because I love MVP. He is just such a unique style fighter. I mean, he has fun in the octagon, and he made that bloody 6-inch reach count. That's for sure. He did a great job. I mean, Shara Bullet was doing what he was supposed to do, I think. I mean, he was landing those leg kicks and those body shots early, and he was trying to make sure that was paying dividends, but MVP was doing an extremely good job on that linear line to avoid that lead leg kick, and he was able to check a couple of them as well. So yeah, he was very, very good. I mean, incredible how fast MVP is for his age. And a big issue I'd say that Shara missed is he didn't capitalize on MVP being in that bladed stance, because linearly MVP is like lightning fast, but when you are in that bladed stance laterally, you do not have the same movement. So there were a number of times where MVP was pushed up against the fence, and that's where Shara, honestly, best thing he could have done was just lunge in with hooks, possibly a spinning heel kick of his own, just something from the side to come through, because MVP has nowhere to go in that sense. He's nowhere near as fast, but I think he was just a bit too tentative in that fight. Now, who do they fight next? I think that MVP, this guy has got to fight Wonderboy. I would love to see him fight Wonderboy. After we got a fight like this, I think there can be some action in the Wonderboy fight. Obviously, they are very good friends to start off with. And also, it's one of those things where they stylistically, the way they match, it's either going to be a barn burner or it's going to be boring as absolute batshit. But yeah, I think just to have that off chance of it being awesome, I'm 100% down to see it. And it does make sense in the division at the moment. Wonderboy's coming off a loss. He's coming kind of out of that top 10, and then MVP wants to go back down to welterweight, and he's 15th ranked at the moment. So they really do make sense. But aside from that, a more so realistic fight, if that's not going to happen, is going to be Jeff Neal. I think have that power from Jeff Neal and that good boxing, and see how he works against MVP, especially with Jeff Neal being pretty good at forward pressuring, and see if he can capitalize on that lateral movement of MVP. I think that would be very good. Now for Shara, I'd probably say that he still does get a fight in the top 15, because it's one of those kind of weird ones where obviously MVP, he is ranked, but not in middleweight. So he wasn't fighting a ranked opponent technically. So I think that they will afford him some form of fight in the top 15 and middleweight. I mean, he's just so entertaining. Dana White loves him. I think they're going to do it. And if they're going to do it with anyone, I think they should do it with Paulo Costa. It gives Shara Bullet the opportunity to just go ham with his techniques, because Paulo Costa, he's not the fastest, he's very durable, and he does have power himself, and he is very good at forward pressuring and overwhelming people. And Paulo Costa, if he beats a name like Shara Bullet and possibly takes him out, that gets him right back in the mix in the top 10. So I think that is the way to go for both of them. Now, moving on to fight of the night, which I was honestly going to think it'd be the co-main event, but my God, Fares Ziam and Mike Davis absolutely delivered. And we could put Ziam as upset of the night as well. I'm very happy with that underdog pick. He swelled to like a $2.50, I think, when the fight actually happened. And yeah, you can see with Ziam, this guy should not have been an underdog. I mean, I did think that those straight strikes, that ability within the clinch with the knees, I mean, his improvements on the ground especially, were just going to kick into gear. And that's why I thought he honestly shouldn't have been an underdog in this one. So that's why I picked him, and he did a great job, especially when it came to that ground game, because for some reason Mike Davis obviously didn't look himself in the first round, but he was really I think he was really just trying to find like an easy dry submission, because he was basically pulling guard. But Ziam was fantastically composed when he was in the guard. His get-ups were fantastic. I mean, and he had ridiculous timing on his elbows outside of the clinch. Like, his timing and his accuracy is just improving and improving and improving. Like, Ziam is a fantastic prospect. Like, France is actually picking up very, very well. I mean, we've got William Gomez, we've got Ziam now, we've got Nassourdine Imavov. I mean, it's looking incredible. Ziam even put great offensive takedowns in the fight as the fight went on. There was blood everywhere. I mean, it was incredible. Like, this fight kind of did have everything. There was submission attempts as well. There was a DAS from Mike Davis. I mean, Davis held in there as well, because he got busted up. I mean, there was blood, just especially from him. He got I think it was an elbow straight to around the temple, and blood was just gushing. And then Ziam at the end of the third, first time he had ever been cut in his pro career, which was a really nice shot straight to his eyebrow, like basically split half his eyebrow in half. And then honestly, I don't know what the fuck was happening with the bloody calf slicer. I mean, credit to Davis to getting that position, but the knee flexibility on that calf slicer of Ziam, his leg was contorted in a way that I have no idea how his knee did not pop. It was like pushed in front of his thigh, like it was completely put like on the side, pushed in front, and it was just getting rolled around everywhere. I don't know how, like, he's flexible, but I don't know how you can be that flexible, especially as a dude. Like, that was extremely impressive, and he's on a fantastic 5-fight win streak now. Amazing underdog pick. I am extremely keen to see what is next for Ziam, honestly. Man, in that division, lightweight, it's a strong division, it's a heavy division to go through, but man, I would like to see this guy fight someone in the top 15. Like, I even would like to see this guy against someone like a Jalen Turner or something, someone that just offers that boxing to kickboxing style that has that power. I want to see someone with that really good striking go up against him. I mean, even someone well-rounded, because that is what Fares Ziam is looking at the moment. Offensive wrestling, but great get-ups, submission defense. I mean, beautiful straight strikes. He's got power. I mean, yeah, the guy is looking absolutely incredible. Now, looking at the fighter to watch, I gotta go with Vinicius Oliveira. Now, I didn't take him in this fight. I had Said Nurmagomedov getting the decision in this one. Now, Said Nurmagomedov, he definitely won the first round without a doubt. I mean, just the fast twitch muscle fibers that this guy has. I mean, the speed in which he throws his kicks. I mean, very nice, dangerous kickboxing to taekwondo based style. He was hitting Vinicius Oliveira with some nice shots, dropped him at one point, pushed him over at one point. I mean, yeah, he was overwhelming Vinicius Oliveira a lot. But Vinicius, through the second to the third round, granted, Vinicius has not fought anywhere near the caliber of opposition except for Ricky Simon that Said has consistently faced. But I will say a tricky thing for Said is the guy had like 3 fights just cave in on him last year. So he had trained for all these fights, a lot of toll on his body and no fruits of his labors. So I think it was definitely a tricky mental thing for him in this one, and you could tell that he was just absolutely exhausted through mainly through the end of the second round to the third round. The guy was gassed, so gassed. But that's where I want to talk about Oliveira, because through that second and third round, the guy was not scared at all. He was forward pressuring like crazy. I mean, beautiful straight lunging shots. He had takedowns as well, offensive takedowns. The guy is huge for bantamweight as well. I'm wondering how long he's actually going to be able to make that weight for. But if he is, man, he is a physical threat. I mean, he's got the power there as well. He did a great job with his composure, especially he hurt his rib in, I believe it was the second round, hurt it bad. I mean, he's a guy that's like very fun in the octagon, and you know he's just dialed in, but he was like breaking in the second to the third round. Like when it came to the corner, he was laughing and stuff, but you could tell his rib was just cooked. Like he was not having it. Like after the fight, like right when it ended, he just like fell and he was just like queasing because his rib was so bad. But he took body shots as well after he felt that in his rib. He took those body shots, and I believe it was like a spinning back kick that landed to the rib from Said. Very fast with those spinning back kicks, but yeah, he just pushed through. I mean, he pushed through, pressured, got the takedowns, controlled Said for most of the third round. He did what he needed to do, and yeah, he's called out Umar Nurmagomedov. I don't think he's going to be getting that fight, but he will honestly get something within the top 10, I believe. Like, he's just an exciting fighter. A good hope for Brazil, especially in that bantamweight division. I mean, we got Figgy there, but Figgy's I think he's great, but he's older. I mean, he's just lost to Petr Yan, and they need some form of fighter in there at the moment. And Vinicius Oliveira, he is very entertaining. I mean, 16 odd KOs. Like he is a guy to look out for, especially with that physique, the takedown offense, the KO power he's got. I mean, just the confidence he has as well. Very, very impressive. I hope you enjoyed today's recap video, and if you want to see more MMA based content, definitely just check out the video on the screen, and please like, comment, subscribe. It goes a very long way for the channel. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, and I appreciate all of you guys that are subscribing and obviously watching the videos, and I will catch you in the next one.